Hey, how's it going, everyone? I am here with a special guest by the name of Scott Meyers. Scott, please say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Lawrence, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Mm.
Scott is he's going to be our main speaker that's coming into my RIA group this next Thursday on January 27th. And he's going to be discussing self-storage and how to make big money with small self-storage facilities. So
Mhm.
Scott, let me ask you a question. What are
Mhm.
some of the things that you're going to be going over when you come and present to us this next Thursday?
Yeah, I'm going to be sharing my top 10 reasons why I love self-storage and why it is the hottest asset class in real estate right now. And so the top 10 list is one and the same. It's why everybody needs to be in the business right now and why I love it so much. And so really, I'll talk a little bit about my journey, but really the difference between investing in habitational real estate, meaning tenants and toilets and trash and single family houses and apartments, and making that shift into either, well, I went 100% into self-storage, but we teach people how to at least add this asset class to your portfolio as you're going out there and investing in real estate. You might as well be looking for self-storage facilities as well. We love the business for so many reasons, and really just because it's a metal box on a concrete slab that we can rent out. And if somebody doesn't pay, we overlock them, lock them out, sell their stuff off and recoup their money. And when it's ready to turn again, we don't have to paint. We don't have to do carpet. We don't do anything but sweep it out and move in the next person waiting in line. So I could go on and on, but those are a couple of the reasons, and I'll expand on that when I get there Thursday.
All right, beautiful. I think also I heard that you'll be just kind of touching very briefly on a few things. Some things I think you'll be discussing is how to maybe identify, how to
Hmm.
negotiate, how to
Hmm.
buy, how to potentially manage, and then
Hmm.
essentially what creating massive wealth ultimately looks like with these self-storage units. Is that correct?
That's correct. In the short amount of time, I'm going to touch on all of those topics, but at least give some folks the next best steps to begin that journey of how to go out to find, evaluate, purchase, and manage self-storage facilities, and then yeah, how you grow the portfolio, how you build the kingdom, if you will.
Beautiful. I love it. And people that don't know you, because I didn't know a lot about you, essentially, I knew that you have been in the industry about, as long as I have, and you've been educating people for a long period of time. So, can you tell people just a tiny bit about yourself, real quick?
Yeah. So yeah, I got started in the business in single family homes. Learned from the Carlton Sheets home study system back in 1993, and
No
then
way.
went
So did
through.
I.
Yeah, he's launched many a career, and we always get the giggles out of it. But you know what? Gosh, if you learn the basic business model, it works, and it has worked, and it's created a lot of successful investors. But along the way, I deviated, and just I learned that I did want to have just houses, and I didn't want to have apartments, and so that's when I got into self storage, and so that blossomed as you grow, as you know, Lawrence. Your growth is only tied to the amount of cash that you have. I mean, lenders love self storage; they're all day long. They'll lend on it. We just needed to find cash, and so we had to get really good at raising private equity and bringing in our limited partners or equity partners. And so we launched and grew a private equity business that deploys capital in self storage. And then yeah, so the reason why I'm coming is because we are passionate about teaching people about how to do this business. And we found through our education business that we find folks that invest in self storage that we can help, that we ultimately can partner with as well. And then also a lot of passive investors along the way that this company, our education company, has afforded us opportunities to partner with folks who want to invest passively. So, I've really got three businesses, all of them surrounding self-storage, all three of them, which I'm really passionate about. And that's our investment business, where we buy existing facilities, we develop from the ground up, we convert industrial buildings into self-storage. We raise private equity to be able to grow and fuel that growth in all three of those areas of self-storage. And then, yeah, my passion and my mission is to teach people, as many people as possible, how to, create a life that just allows that freedom and the passive income that self-storage brings for those that are interested in the asset class. So that's in a nutshell what we do and what I love to do.
Beautiful. I love that, man. That is really, really awesome. One of the things I love is that you've been in the business teaching for like over 15 years. And what happens a lot of days is we get people that sometimes will reach out to me that want to come speak at my RIO organization, and they've been in business for 2 seconds. So there's something that I really love about someone that's been doing this for over 15 years, that's been teaching this exact thing, that's going to come in and provide massive value for my group. So I really appreciate you doing that. Let me ask you about this. So one of the big misconceptions that you had touched on is that you actually have to have, like, people won't do this because they think they have to have a lot of money in order to do this. So that's a huge misconception. Is that correct?
It is. From my very first facility to the one that I closed on this week, I have very little of my own capital in the business. In the beginning, because we didn't have it. And so I found a partner, and then we also brought in some private equity, and I had $5,000 into that first facility that was worth $1.8 million. We closed on a $17 million facility recently, and I had $10,000 into that project overall. And many of our projects, because we syndicate, I actually get paid fees for putting the deal together, and I walk away with money at the closing table when we develop or acquire. So don't get me wrong, they don't all look that way. We have skin in the game in any one of our projects, but you're right, Lawrence. I think the misconception is, oh, how can I get into commercial real estate or self-storage with all those commas and zeros behind it when I've only got $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, if that. And the answer is that there's a lot of money that is pouring into self-storage right now. Banks love it because it is a low loan loss rate, and so they're financing and high LTVs. And private equity investors are pouring money into self-storage. People that have money that are running away from the stock market during this inflationary period and have money sitting on the sidelines in a self-directed IRA, that they too see that how well self-storage is done during the pandemic and how well it's done by beating out all the other asset classes. And they're beating down our door to partner with us, and so that we don't have to come up with a down payment. We just create a partnership structure that makes sense for all parties. So the answer is no. You do not have to have gleaming credit, and you do not have to have boatloads of money to get into the self-storage business. Now, there's enough money attracted to it that allows you to just structure the deal once you find it.
Beautiful. But Scott, wait, I want to do multifamily. I want to own a bunch of apartments. And why I laugh sometimes when I hear that, not laugh, I think that's a great opportunity, but I also think that this is very similar, except, can you tell people the biggest difference, why it's similar, except?
Yeah, so I think that's a natural progression, and I did the same thing. We had 75 houses, 78 houses, and then we decided if we want to grow, well, you grow by getting more doors by buying a whole bunch at the same time, and that is by buying an apartment complex. And so we had 400 apartment units, but we lost sight of the fact, and the reason why we got into real estate is because we wanted passive income. We wanted people in our units paying the basis down, but having the freedom to go do what we want to do and having the income. Well, we had some of the income, but we certainly didn't have the free time. We were babysitting, the tenants and the toilets and the contractors and all that goes along with it. Yes, and then all we have to do is look back at, last year or the year before that with the rent moratorium, and you couldn't, or excuse me, the eviction moratorium, you couldn't evict anybody. And, all the regulations that are, thrust upon multifamily and single family residential, because you have people living in your houses that need to be protected. And so for that reason, it's just a difficult business model. And I guess at the end of the day, the way to sum it up best, Lawrence, is that, go look at Green Street Advisors, any of the other, economic indexes that track all the forms of real estate. Self-storage is at the top. It year in, year out, it profits as a sector of real estate better than any other sector of real estate, any other asset class. And so when I began looking around the landscape, and I was like, well, do I want to go, with this school of fish that is going the farthest and the fastest, or do I want to go with this school of fish over here that's going a lot slower? And I decided, well, I want to be the leading fish and, in the pack that is heading in the direction that is most profitable and doing it the fastest and at scale. And that's what we've done. So, there isn't any stat out there, regardless of what I say, go look for yourself. The asset class, it's recession resistant. It is inflation resistant. It is pandemic resistant because we use kiosks to rent out our units. It has the lowest loan default rate because it is so profitable and does so well during these economic cycles that we have so much money chasing it. So for all those reasons, just the asset class alone, nothing that I did, it was just like, well, I want to be in the best asset class. And then once we get in it, we wanted to be the best operators, developers, syndicators in that asset class. And so long-winded answer to your question, but I believe you need to look at, what is the hottest asset class, and, your chances of success are greater if you're hopping into the asset class that is doing better than all the rest to begin with.
Yeah, no, I love the simplistic answer is that, yeah, you do own a lot of doors. You just don't have to deal with the tenants, and you don't have to deal with all
Mhm,
the repairs and all the BS that comes with actually being a landlord. You can have
mhm,
basically a ton of tenants, but never have to deal with them. So I love that
mhm.
aspect about self-storage, the passive income, all of that stuff. So it's going to be very exciting. Two things real quick before we
Yeah.
button this
Mhm,
up, because we only have a limited amount of time. Is
mhm,
technology changing the industry?
mhm. Oh my gosh. Again, I'll cover this in my top 10, but yeah, this is a low labor intensive transaction, meaning the sale of a unit. This is more or less a commodity. It isn't like an apartment or a house where somebody's going to come out and they're going to, drive the neighborhood, see who the neighbors are, check out the school system. Is it close to work? Is it close to the grocery store? This just needs to be close to their home. They want their stuff close by. It needs to be safe and secure, and they need to be able to rent the unit right away. This is something that mom is usually checking off her list of things to do. So
Yeah.
if you provide a website that is that shows up very well, meaning the facility is in great shape, and you give them the ability on the website or on a mobile phone to be able to rent a unit, show them a map of the facility, security, what it offers, and to complete that transaction over the phone, on their phone, then you win in this game. And
Yep.
so it
Okay.
is not much different than renting a DVD from Redbox at the local, in between
Yep.
the doors at the Walmart or the grocery store.
This,
There's
this
not
this
that
is a
much that
lot
goes
different
into it.
than just a few years ago. This is
It is.
how you can automate everything with the cameras and with the keypads,
Mhm.
and before you'd have to have someone there. So I get it, and I love the
Mhm.
fact that you're going to be touching on the
You
technology
got it.
aspect just a tiny bit about
Mhm.
automating. So, and then the very last thing is, I
Mhm.
heard there was somewhere like 20 plus profit centers that
Yeah.
in self storage, different things, add on little bolt on things that can add more profits
Mhm.
to your bottom line. Is this true?
No, it's not true. There's actually 40 plus profit centers, not 20. So, yeah, I mean, businesses within the business, the easy ones are selling locks, boxes, moving supplies, truck rentals. You see a lot of the U-Haul budgets and other companies out front. And then renters insurance, we get a profit from that. We don't sell renters insurance. We're not licensed, but we offer that as well, and we get money back on that. And yeah, about 37 others, and we'll touch on a few of those as well.
Beautiful, man. Well, listen, I am very excited to see you. And I kind of had you come speak more selfishly more than anything, because I've been wanting to hear you speak and present and get some more insights to self storage. So I'm really looking forward to it. Anybody that is planning on coming to our meeting, you're going to be in for a real treat. This guy's the real deal when it comes to self storage. And once again, our meeting is on Thursday, January 27th at the Shao Insurance Center over on 1021 Douglas Avenue in Altamont Springs. This is Thursday, January 27th, and we have a new time. We'll be actually starting at 5:30. So come in, network with other investors. It's going to be a kick butt meeting, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. Once again, Scott, thank you for chiming in all the way from, are you in Indiana right now?
Yeah, Indianapolis today, but I'll be coming to see you from Phoenix, Arizona. So it's about time that we got together, Lawrence, and thankful that it worked out because we got 3 site visits while I'm out there on that trip, and can't wait to come and speak to your folks and teach them about this asset class that we love so much.
Beautiful. Well, I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you hopping on a plane all the way from Phoenix to come see us. And we're looking forward to seeing you, bud. So have a great trip, and we'll see you in a week.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Lawrence.
Cheers.
Cheers.